What up, y'all? I'm Sevyn Streeter, and this is KeepItQueen.com.
I love when you pulling up in your Jeep, bumping all your beats. J's on with the shades on, just to bring me something to eat. You done made up in these streets, but when it comes to my heart.
Call Me Crazy But is my EP, and it's a 7-song EP. It's basically just talking about the cycle of a relationship, you know, the ups, the downs, the good, the bad, the ugly, that I love him today, that I can't stand him today. And I called it Call Me Crazy But just because I felt like a lot of times, you know, in relationships, you go through it with who you in it with. You go through it with them, and sometimes they feel like you acting a little crazy. Like, well, call me crazy, but didn't you just lie to me about that? You know what I mean? Or call me crazy, but didn't you make a promise and then you went and broke it? So am I really crazy? I have this thing that I do. I call it Taylor Swift in that hole. And I kind of write about what I go through. So a lot of what you hear in the EP, honestly, for me, is talking about, you know, my personal relationships and things like that. And then a lot of it too is, you know, you have conversations with your girlfriends, and I feel like, you know, if I'm not going through something, one of my girlfriends is going to be going through something. And I think we've all been in that place where you meet somebody and it's like the only person you want to be around. You wake up thinking about them, you go to sleep thinking about that person, and it's just a vibe, and it's just real easy going. There's no pressure, it just feels good. Next in the story, after you're in this place where you just feel like it won't stop, and you're in love. You know what I mean? It's a loving record, it's a vibe record, and you know, it just feels good to be with your girl, or feel good to be with your dude. So after you're in this place where you're clearly in love, now I want to say this is how I operate. I think a lot of women in here do operate like this. Once you have our hearts and our minds, then you can have our bodies. I don't know if everybody operates like that, but that's how I operate. So the next record, you know, after you fall in love and it won't stop, the next record is kind of self-explanatory, and it's called Sex on the Ceiling. You know, you fall in love and it won't stop. After you have sex on the ceiling, I felt like a lot of times in relationships or in situations, sometimes for women, after you give somebody your mind, your body, your soul, or whatever, sometimes people get a little comfortable. And I don't want to just single out men and say men get a little comfortable. You have some women get a little comfortable too, but in this particular record, I'm talking about my dude getting a little comfortable. It's like, okay, don't get me up. Like, you know, I'm not with that sharing shit. I don't do that. And, you know, you belong to me. You belong to me now. I gave you my mind, my body, my everything. You belong to me. So, with that said, the next record is a song called Call Me Crazy. It's the title track. Yeah, I feel like, yeah, call me crazy, but I ain't with that sharing shit. Exactly. So after Call Me Crazy, after, you know, because I felt like in Call Me Crazy, obviously, you know, maybe he's getting a little comfortable. Maybe his eyes are starting to wander just a little bit, you know what I mean? And you just have to remind him about what it really is. And after Call Me Crazy, I feel like, you know, within the story of the EP, you realize it was something to come on over, and it won't stop. You fell for him, y'all are in love, you know, and Sex on the Ceiling, y'all got it popping. After you got it popping, it comes Call Me Crazy, and you have to remind him, you know, don't try me, you know, we in this thing. I felt like this is where, a lot of times in relationships, this is where the conflict comes. And, you know, you explained everything else, and I feel like now you're at a place where it's like, okay, now you kind of got me second guessing whether or not I should have fell in love with you and it won't stop. I should have gave you sex on the ceiling. You know what I mean? You got me second guessing and wondering, you know, did I do the right thing? And, you know, you're just going through it a little bit, and there's a conflict. And the next record is a record called Bands, or Bitch Ass Nigga Shit. So, it's pretty self-explanatory, but, you know, I feel like we've all ran across some bands, have we not? You know what I mean? We ran across some bands, and I'm not, for men too, I'm not gonna exclude the men, like, you know, bitch ass nigga shit. Men aren't the only people that can do that. You run across it every day. I think Puffy was on it when he said, Walter Shirley said, no bitch assness. So after Bands, after you realize that, you know, he's on some bitch ass nigga shit, and I just felt like for somebody to be able to get you that upset, you clearly gotta love them. You know what I mean? You can't get that upset with somebody and not really feel some type of way about them. Women, we have, you know, our point of views and how we feel about the relationships and our issues. Men have their issues too and their point of views and their perspective. So, in the next record, it's called Shattered, and it's basically saying, you know, we can't throw stones in a glass house. You point fingers, I point fingers. Nobody's perfect, and you know, it kind of it's the part where I feel like it's either gonna work or it's gonna shatter and fall apart.
And it won't stop.